This is how the air container is packaged. I'm going to pull it out. Black paint job. Looks pretty good overall. Next, I'm going to open up the box with the bags and the controls and stuff in it. I'm also going to be laying some of the stuff out here on the table. That way we can see all that's in it. Being very careful not to cut anything that I don't want to cut. Something I just found as I'm opening up the box is a little note from Steve. It says, "Hi Jesse, it was nice talking with you. Thanks for the order. I hope you love everything about my kit, as I loved assembling it for you. Any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, Steve." And he does not joke about don't hesitate to contact him, because I've been constantly emailing him for the last week, 2 weeks, since I placed my order. So he is all about customer service. Alright, first thing, I just pulled out a piece of cardboard, and it's just got another piece here. There's some sort of hose right here. I'm going to pull out this hose. See, this looks like this is the survival kit that was pulled with the kit as well. Which, yes, this is the plastic hose with just a fitting to air tires and whatnot right there. And I'll open this up. This looks like it is just all your plastic line to run to the bags from the toggles. I can see it in there. There's a relay. Probably cannot see that through the plastic. I'll get a little bit closer. Possibly you can. There's a relay and fuse block and all that stuff in there. There's even a can cruiser. Got to keep everything packaged neatly so I can put it back in the box. Okay, here's, my guess is the mounts, because this is the heavy box. This is where all that 60 pounds comes into play on the shipping information. Okay. I open the box. Here's what I'm seeing. We've got Jesse's nutsack. Let's see, what do we got there? It looks like, that right there looks like, to me, to be an aftermarket battery terminal. We'll see if that's what it is in a few minutes. Hope the lighting's okay right now. trying to make room in here. Kitchen's not really very big. Oh no, here is my toggle panel on the switches. Very well wrapped. Everything in this package so far has been very well wrapped. And as his website exclaims, everything's proudly hand brushed, built, and bolted right here in the USA. Which, I mean, who can complain with that? Once I can find the end of the plastic wrap here, I'll be opening up the toggle switches. We'll get a look at those. And like I said, everything is very well wrapped. He went above and beyond expectations. After I get done with wrapping this, here's a good look at the toggle switches and board. I'm sorry if I keep on looking away, but I'm trying to get a good view on everything. Pretty nice looking board here. I'm actually going to disconnect my Wi-Fi from the camera so I can finish this. What we've also got here is a gauge panel kit. It's just all the fittings and everything that goes from the gauge panel to the actual bags themselves. This right here is for the backlight inside of the gauge, so you can tell them how much pressure you've got in there and everything else. I like how everything is well described. So far everything seems to be perfect, and I couldn't ask for any better packaging or customer service from Steve. I want to save this little sticker. I think it's kind of cool. You don't see that very often. Let's see, what else do I got here? Alright, something else that is awesome about Steve is he includes everything you need to wire, which is all the relay kit, all the wires. I can see everything in here. There used to be a spare air disconnect so you can tee off the air tank and run whatever accessories you need. This is pretty obviously just a mount. There's really no need to take that out. Actually, it's this right here. Then we get down to the package that I'm not exactly sure what was it, or that I was not exactly sure what it was earlier. And now I can see that this is the actual air compressor. I mean, he packaged this so well that, I mean, it's not going to get damaged at all. And then he also, I mean, I'm telling you, that is a, yep, it says, hope you didn't mind, I threw in this super cool 24 karat gold anti-corrosive battery terminal. So I mean, he's got everything in mind when putting this kit together. Unfortunately, my GoPro camera's batteries died on me. So all that's really left to show y'all is we got the 4 bags, one for each corner, of course. Then I got this plate here. I'm sure I got another one of them somewhere else in here. Yeah, there's one right here on the side. So, I mean, that's everything. And like I said in the video, he went far beyond your typical retail packaging. And he's included a lot of things. He's got these nice personalized touches that nobody else in anything I've ever ordered has sent me stuff like this. I mean, he's a good guy, makes a great product. I have no complaints at all about the quality. Everything seems to be top notch. I mean, there's nothing better I can say about Steve and his company. So, pretty soon here, I'll be getting these on the truck.
Alright, so now we are installing the top plate for the front set of bags. Both of these pieces are the same. I mean, they look the same. They're reversible for either side. So what I've got done here is I've got them lined up as good as I can. I've got it vice gripped, so I can try and drill the holes and, you know, keep that straight. So I think optimally to do this, you should take out, you know, you should separate the lower ball joint and stuff to swing this lower control arm out of the way to get you better access for drilling. Fortunately, we were having a difficulty with that. We could only get the top undone, so we're going to try doing it this way. So, but as you can see, you know, it lines up pretty well with the upper control arm. You know, I think there's some tolerance built in as far as, you know, mounting and stuff, but these vice grips should hopefully hold it in the right place.
Alright, so what we're doing is we're placing the bag now inside of the lower control arm as well as the upper control arm. So now that we've placed it in there, we'll lift up the lower control arm and bend the bag to where it fits in there. Go ahead and lift up the control arm. Yeah. And it all fits. So once the bag's in there, you'll just slide it to where it fits. Just push that upper control arm up and out of the way. It'll lock up there. Slide it my way. There we go.
Sweet. And washer, lock washer.
Yeah, washer, lock washer, nut. We should probably put some Loctite on here. Yeah. Unfortunately, during the installation of the rear bags, my GoPro camera had an issue and I was not able to record this. So I'm going to quickly explain the procedures to install the rear bags. First, you must remove the coil springs. In my case, I had to use an oxyacetylene torch and cut the top bolts out because they were rounding off and would not come out. Second, you've got to remove the bolt from the bottom going through the trailing arms. You may have to beat that bolt out if the head of the bolt breaks off like it did in my case, or it may come out easily for you. Hopefully it comes out easier than harder for you guys. Then you've got to assemble the bags according to the instructions and the labels on top of the mounting hardware. There's obviously a bottom and a top part of the bag. On the bottom of the bag, you do not install bolts going through the actual mount. Instead, you install the longer of the rods that are included in the kit, with Loctite of course, through the mount and then into the trailing arm. From there, you put the washer and nut with Loctite again up to the threads that it's going through the trailing arm to connect the bottom of this bag and mount to the trailing arm. And for the top mount's got 2 bolts and of course the fitting that connects the line to the bag, and the elbows go in the rear bags, the straight fittings go in the front bags. But you connect the mount with the bag by 2 bolts, and then there's a shorter stud that you thread into the top of the bag, which will go through the top part of your frame. In my case, I angled the bag slightly inward to follow the shape of the trailing arms, but I do not actually believe that is necessary, as long as you keep the lines close to the frame and zip tied together to where they won't rub on anything. The way I routed this was, if you follow the instructions, once you get your tank mounted, which I have it mounted between the gas tank, my auxiliary gas tank, and then this rear cross member here, you've got this plug here, and this is your main line going up to the little panel, the switch panel. I have also got, this is the straighter valve that I have not taken out yet because I just recently actually got the air compressor to completely air up. And then this is the shut off. Instead of running it on the power side, I just ran this all on the ground side. So I've got the power coming from the relay to here and then coming out straight to the ground. So once this opens up from hitting 200 psi, it shuts off the relay, which shuts off the compressor. So I've got that main line coming from right there. I've routed it up along the frame. Luckily I don't have no bed right now, so you can see everything. There's the line. I routed it up, zip tied everything pretty nicely. I found a suitable hole. I insulated the hole pretty well. Up there you can't really see it, but I did. And then I ran this. This is the main air coming in. It's split off into the T's. I hope you can see all this. Main air coming in, split off into the T's, and then each one's got its own. This is for the front bags, which ties into the gauge so you can tell where your PSI is at. And then this side over here is for the rear bags. And then the lines out actually go to the bags. And then there's a splitter that was included in the kit. And that's pretty much all there is to the actual running of the lines. Unfortunately, I was not able to record that because my GoPro had an issue. And something else I've realized today is that I don't have full drop because I forgot to remove the helper springs. So right now I'm sitting on the spring. So once I remove these, I'll probably get another, hopefully 4 or 5 inches of drop out of the rear. The fronts are pretty well dropped, about to the max I think I can do until I get some drop spindles. It's actually pretty low in the front. Yeah, I'm touching bump stop onto the brackets, so I can't complain about that at all. Unfortunately I got an oil leak, but I'm only about 6 inches off the ground on the frame. Well, alright, that's it.